All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. I know folks are just going to be logging on right now, and I'll give you a chance to come in and take a look. But once you come in, I'd love for you to go ahead and introduce yourself. I'll introduce myself. My name is Ginger Lewman, and I work for a nonprofit educational service center here out of Central Kansas called ESDAC. I've been a teacher for the past 22 years, and for the past 10 years, I've been devoting primarily to either running my own PBL school or teaching teachers how to transform their communities. So it's my passion now to help all educators and schools find the smarter and easier ways to help engage their kids in learning. So Tanya and Jennifer are in. Good morning. Oh, good evening. Hello. Just saying hi. Give you guys a chance if you wanted to introduce yourself in the chat right now, a video here. Just underneath, you just go ahead and type up, I believe that's how it's going to work for you. And so who are you? What levels, what topics do you teach your learners? And if you want, you don't have to, lurking's okay too, but you're going to find out that building community and introducing yourself here is really a whole lot of what PBL is. So hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. One of my favorite people out there in Western Kansas. I say one of because there's a bunch. Anyway, hi, Tanya. Are you still 5th grade? All right, I've been thinking about you. Been looking at the pictures of your son and your husband. And anyway, so as folks come in, go ahead and introduce yourselves. I'm going to keep moving here because I'm really going to try to keep this series, these conversations, to 20 minutes. Now, those of you who know me personally, don't lay any money down on this, right? But this topic that we're talking about today lends itself to a little bit more. And hi, April. I'm going to try really hard to limit it as much as possible. So I'll say hi as folks come in, but after a while I'm going to try not to say hi because that's going to interrupt the flow, and we'll keep going. So yeah, Amanda and Janine, hello. Awesome. Glad you guys are in. So tonight's topic, let's just jump into this, is all about grouping. Yay! It's a tough topic. I'd love to hear more from all y'all during this. So what do you do to keep your kids working together, especially under the stress of a PBL project? And if it matters, if they know that there's somebody else besides just the teacher going to be looking at the work, if they care about it, there's a certain level of stress. And how do we keep them working together? Hey, Sue, good to see you. Hey, Bruce, glad to have you in, huh? Okay. So be thinking about the issues of grouping, post your thoughts or questions down in the chat below, and we'll dive into it in a moment. But first, I do want to, everybody who attends, this is, if I can, a little advertisement for you all. Everybody who attends and comments in the Facebook live chat section, you're going to get your name put into a giveaway for my new book. So if you've commented, all y'all who've come in and said hi or, contribute with a question or who you are, where you're from, you're going to get, like I said, your name put into this hat, so to speak. And at the end of August, I'll go ahead and draw for 4 winners. 4 books are going to be given away from all of these. So each different chat is different. So if you come to all 4, you get 4 times. And super bonus, if you share this video either right now live or later, if you share it on your page all the way into August 31st, you're going to get your name entered again each time. So just want to say thanks for being a great community member and helping colleagues out and anybody who might be interested in learning more about PBL and helping me out. So remember, you can win that one of 4 books for free. Yay! Anyway, so let's go back to the question. How in the world do we keep our kids working in groups without fighting? Like I said, I'm going to try to be really succinct with this. Hey, Scott, how you doing? So there's 6 things for sure that we really want to remember. 1, because I'm a visual girl. Yeah, there is no magic wand. There is no magic wand at all, no shortcuts. It's a journey of learning for them. It's a journey of learning for you. So be patient and keep working the good work. Okay, Jill, I'm going to go ahead, when I'm finished with this, I'll download the video, and I'm eventually going to be putting up a YouTube channel. So every single one of these will be accessible no matter what Facebook does. So I'll still have them, and we can see them anytime. But this will also live on the page for a while. So number 1, no magic wand. Number 2, we're doing so far, Well, this is a question I get a lot. How many kids do I want to put? It's backwards. Oh, thanks for telling me, Janine. Well, I'll hold it back. It says, darn it. How many kids do we put into our groups? So, well, good to know that. I guess I'll make them backward and hold them up next time. Quickly and easily, I just like to say if we put 2 kids in a group, there'll be arguments, they go to loggerheads. I like to have 3 people in a group. Personally, I think that's in my years of experience and working with teachers who work with groups. They also say that 3 is the best because you can have conversations and work stuff out. The gurus in the PBL world told me years ago, and they keep saying it's 4 is best in a group, and I don't deny that. I think that works fine with some. So, and of course, 5 in a group means that 3 kids aren't working. Right? So, to me, that's what we want to do. Now, there may be some really big projects where you have like a whole school project or a whole team project, and there's maybe 4 or 5 groups, so you might have 10 kids in one group. At that point, I'd put them into subgroups. So even on that big group, break them down and say, now, what part of this would you want to take care of, and what part would you want to take care of? Because the larger the group, the easier it is to hide and not work. So thanks for thanks guys for the feedback on what works for you. Okay, so let's go to number 3 now. Group them with intention. If we want our kids to work well and not be messing around with each other, the old 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all the 1s here, all the 2s here, it doesn't work very well. I mean, it's a great way to get people put into groups immediately, but I like to be much more intentional. The backward slide for y'all. Group them with intention. Sorry. Number 1, I want to group them most of the time by ability. Yeah, I'm going to say that out loud. I want the kids who are a little bit further down the road to work with kids who are a little bit further down the road. And likewise, kids who might struggle in this content area, I want them to work together. And let me tell you why. Some of you guys may have heard this story before and some of you haven't. Be nice with me on this if you've heard it. I've got a friend named Shelly, right? And Shelly's a very good friend of mine, and I don't know if you know me in real life, but I'm not necessarily the most physically fit person in the world. And my friend Shelly is very fit. And I go to Shelly and I say, hey Shelly, hey, can you help me out sometime? I really want to get more healthy. Can you help me go to the gym and help me get healthy? And she said, oh my God, Ginger, I thought she'd never ask, and says, yes, absolutely. So we go to the gym, show up on the day, and there she is in her cute little outfit because she lives in the gym. And I, on the other hand, I'm lucky to not be in jeans. I'll just say that. And so I go in, and she says, all right, Ginger, let's get a little warm-up going, get a little cardio, just 5 or 800 minutes. No, it's 5 or 8 minutes or so, and we start going, and we're talking, and pretty soon it's just her talking because I'm breathing. And I'm trying not to breathe because it's not really, this is just a warm-up, and I'm already starting to breathe heavy. And there she is, just doing her thing, talking about the day, asking me about my day. I'm trying to hold my breath. And by then I'm starting to sweat some, and I mean sweat, not in a ladylike fashion. So she says, all right, warm-up's done. I'm thinking, wow, that was a workout for me. And she goes, no, let's start the workout now. We're working out. She's still talking at me, and I can't help it, but the longer she goes and we go, the perkier she is, and the more I hate her. I can't help it. I like her as a friend, and she's a good human being, and I asked for this, but she's just like, la, 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 and I'm feeling like a freaking buffalo over here, right? And she's, and I'm trying to, I'm not even holding in my sweat anymore, and I'm just breathing, and we go on with this for so long to where I'm trying to be polite, but after a while I'm like, thanks, Shelly, and pretty soon at the end, we get to the end of it, thank God. I don't know, something like 4 or 5 hours we worked out. It really wasn't. It was maybe 30, 45 minutes. And we get it to the end. We go outside of the car. And she goes, good job today, Ginge. And I'm like, hey, thanks, Shell. And she gets in her car, and I get in my car, and I drive away. And she gets back out of her car, goes back inside to get a real workout. Because what she did with me was not a real workout for her. And I think that's the cognitive thing of what we do with kids. That's a physical manifestation of what we do cognitively with kids every day when we group them in mixed groups. So when I say in a group, if we want them to work really well, one of the first things and most of the ways that I I group kids is by ability. Because Shelley deserves to work out with people who challenge her. And I deserve to work out with people who challenge me. And so we can be like, and like sweat and work out and that sort of thing, and be proud together of the work we're doing. Because what would happen to me if Shelley wasn't nice? And what would happen to Shelley if I didn't like her? I'm gonna hamstring that girl every chance I can get, right? So in our classrooms, one of the first and primary ways I want to group kids is by ability. But if that's the only way we're grouping kids, we pretty soon have kids segregated into the haves and the have-nots. And that's not good either. I want all my kids to be part of a true community. Remember I said earlier that being part of the community matters? So how do I get them together heterogeneously and yet still not randomly, still very intentionally? It's my B level, is the interest grouping. On a regular basis, I want my kids to be able to say, hey, I'm interested in this topic. And they get together, and that's all kids of different abilities will come together. And how well does that kid who struggles academically, how much do they have to contribute if they're going into a group where they're interested in the topic? They got some things to share, right? All of a sudden, the kid who thinks they're the smart kid in the room looks at that other kid and says, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Yeah, you didn't, but now you do. And we're all different sorts of people with all sorts of things. And Marie, you're right, there are different types of abilities. I like to go, it depends on your content area, and it's not just a random. It's, if I'm in my content, I want to think of who's doing well with this right now. There's different, but in the interest of keeping this not a 2-hour-long lecture on grouping, it's the big idea. If you and I want to talk more about that, let's do that. So there's interest grouping. At age levels, there's probably 5 or 6 topics at each grade level, or not each generic level, the elementary, the middle, and high school levels, that we can probably hook just about every kid into this. What are those? So at the elementary levels, animals, cars, technology, games, fashion, beauty, Barbies, dolls, whatever, space, those sorts of things, dinosaurs, did I say that one? I can hook just about every kid in the room on some of those topics. At the upper level grades, that's probably things to do with sports and music and fashion and women's issues, civil issues. Let's see, technology for sure. There's a passel of things. So if I can get my content into an area of their interest, woo! Reality is, sometimes though, it's hard to shoehorn those pieces in. So what I might do is that if I've got a project that I'm putting together, there may be different components of it. So for instance, if we are building a 1/2 scale model of the Apollo 13 capsule, right? You know, the ones that went out and it's fun stuff. We're going to have a group that's the artifact group. So what's the stuff that goes around this? We're going to have a group that actually is the builders that are going to be, and so, oh my God, I want to be in the building group. I want to be in the building group. Cool. You go over there. And they bring a little bit something to it because they got to choose based on interest, or I put them there because I knew that was their interest, right? We can talk more about this if you're interested, but for now, that's 1 and 2 with grouping them with intention. The third one I really like is because I have sometimes kids who aren't great in all content areas, but and in fact, they might be a little slow in some areas, but there's one area where that kid shines, right? So in that class, I'm going to put that kid at the top grouping. I call that readiness grouping. What are they ready for? What are their strengths, right? And so if I can, I don't care how great the kids' grades are, if they're ready for something a little bit more, even if it's just on this one topic in a class they're not great in, but they know this, I'm going to put them there. And again, help kids get to see each other in different ways on a very regular basis. So far we've talked no magic wand, how many in a group them with intention. I want to go to number 4. Thanks, Sue. You're so sweet. 4. Remember how many did I say there were? 6. We're getting there. All right. Number 4. Yeah, I'm going to read this to you. It says, use contracts to help them help themselves. It's all about their responsibility. I think it's really important that kids, as they get into groups, one of the first things they do is figure out how are we gonna work with each other in the group? Now, I've seen teachers before, and I've seen lots of examples before where they are like templates, or the teacher says, this is what your contract will say. I don't like to do that. Now, elementary teachers, pause for a second. Anybody, fourth grade and above, I'm talking to you. Anybody younger than that, hold, pause for a second. I'm gonna come to you in a little bit. But contracts, I want them to be student written. Why? Because they're their contracts. They're their group. They've got to figure out how to work amongst themselves. Now, at first, remember that magic wand? There's no magic wand. You got to work through it. They're not great at it, but they'll get better. So when student contracts are student written, if they're brand new to this concept, I usually start out with 2 questions. One, what do you hate about group work? I ask any middle schooler or high schooler that, they've got an answer. In fact, they might have several answers, right? What do you hate about it? They write. Every kid individually writes it. And then I say, okay, cool. Now write down everything that you love about group work. It's a shorter list usually, but they're writing. And I said, okay, now everybody in your group, look at each other's stuff, share what it is, see your commonalities, good. See how you're different, awesome. Now write a contract that addresses those. I mean, that's a great challenge to start with. Remember to give yourself plenty of time for that, because if the kids have never done this sort of thinking before, what do you want me to write? I want you to write so that everybody has their needs met. So let's talk about it. And don't just make a big list of do nots, because that's what they see in some teachers' classrooms. Don't do this, don't do that. Make sure that we write some things in there, what you will do, so they help role model for themselves the right way to be, right? Oh, I'm looking at Michelle's here. I formed my PBL unit last year where I hired the CEOs and they had to read the applications. That's a great way to start that. Other students then pick blindly based off of that. Oh, so you don't know the kids' names, you just know the applications. That's a good way. I don't like to start with that because that's pretty complex, but if you've been in a PBL unit, that's a great way to do it. By the way, for those of you who you might have already put great comments on there and I missed it because I was on a rant, I'm so sorry. I'll get back to you, I promise. So the kids write their contracts, a list of do's, don't forget, any good contract has a list of consequences. If somebody goes to break this, what do they do? What happens? And then eventually, it depends on your age, I like to think about if the group can eventually fire them. And then that's up between me and the kid of what they're going to do to move forward and let everybody else in the classroom see that they are working. Whew, it is 8:17. I've grossly underestimated the amount I like to talk about groups, guys. Sorry about that. I'm going to keep flying here. If you want to talk and listen more about contracts, I'd love to talk with you more about that. This is also a whole big chunk of my new book that I've got out too that I can share with you if you're interested. So they keep their contracts. I don't keep them. They abide by their contracts. And if there's a problem, they come and get me. Now, if it's doing my job, I'm around there pollinating all the groups all the time. I can usually sniff out a problem. And so I've got to get in there and help them. I don't leave them like Lord of the Flies, y'all. Right? But it's a great way to get them to start to be responsible to each other. Number 5. Do we let them pick their friends to get into groups? Everybody's classroom flavoring's different. I don't. Not at the beginning of the year. Eventually I might, but not at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, and Justin Coffey had asked this question before the chat had started, how do I get them, how do I pick groups if I don't know the kids yet? I'm going to tell you truthfully, and I tell the kids at the very beginning of the year, I randomly group them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like I said, don't do. But the reason I do that is it buys me some time. I get to see how they work in a group naturally, and I tell them that we won't stay this way all the time. I just need to get to know who they are. And so through working with them, and when I say quickly, man, I better know within the 2 weeks, maybe even within the first week, a good idea of who might be where with the activities that we're doing. And I can start then putting some ability groups and some interest groups together as soon as possible. That's really important. Also, do I let them pick their friends? Okay, at the beginning of the year, and even pretty much the full beginning semester, I'll pick them. Again, ability, interest, readiness. But then, because I'm a lazy teacher, I might I might not be ready for the next set of groupings for the project. And so then I'll say, hey, sometimes it's accidental and sometimes it's on purpose. I say, hey, man, I'm not ready with your guys' groups on this new project. Do you want to pick your friends? And man, they all, yes, absolutely. Now, this is strategic. I have already had them working in groups with contracts in certain ways so that they have started to feel some success, that maybe group work isn't all evil, and maybe there's some things that we can do to keep that super excited kid or the super control freak kid or the super laid back kid, right? Keep them moving forward and playing nicely. That's dealing with the ability groups a lot, and the contracts. So, do you want to pick your friends? Yep. And it's almost inevitable. Not always, but almost every single time I do this, there's a good handful of kids who say, wow, my friends stink. Yeah. And again, looking at the whole big picture of educating a human being, I want them to notice that some of their friends' choices may not have been the best for them. And so as I'm helping those kids who are struggling, how do you help yourself make better choices in this world with your friends? Now, if I just walk up to that kid and say, you shouldn't be friends with them, man, I just guaranteed they got married, right? So I don't want to do that. I want to say, hey, wow, maybe that's not great for you. I didn't make that choice. They made that choice. So then on another project where I say, would you guys like to work with your friends? They're like, nah, you pick. So there I am. And so it's a great opportunity, again, for them to start to develop personal responsibilities. Yeah, Jennifer, have you, because I know that I've talked with you about this before, have you found these words to be true with your kids? I'll just go ahead and let you drop in there. All right, y'all. Now we're on to number 6. Yay, they said. Can't wait. So this says, let's use real groups when possible. Not groups that are school flavored, that they smell too much like school. Let me explain. When I'm integrating topics like bringing math or science into my social studies classroom or something into my language arts or language arts into something else, I'm very sure not to create groups of math or science groups. I don't want to do that because there are some kids who've already decided whether they're good or not at math. And so if I say, well, you want to be in the math group? No. Would you like to be in the group that builds the thing? Yeah, and they do math all day long. So, for instance, if they're building an undersea colony, right? Because the Earth in 25 years, the surface of the Earth is going to be unlivable. It's one of my challenges. It turns out we're going to need a group of kids to do math and science to build the oxygen and the carbon dioxide converters. We're going to need some kids who understand social structures and government to help us build our societal structures. We don't call the groups math, science, or social studies. Okay? So, our final big question. What do we do when we have a couple of kids just going at it? Right? You're in a group, everybody else is working, but they're starting to look at those two because like, no, I want it this way, no, I want it that way. Or worse, it's one kid and two other. And this is something that's really important to me. Oh, that kid, Jill, I've got that. I'm gonna get to you in just a second, or I'm gonna end up forgetting what I was on here. I'm like, squirrel just ran by. If you have kids who are really going at it and they refuse to look at others' points of view, no, it has to be this way. Okay, stop. If we had to go with that person's, the other person, give me 3 reasons of what we could do to make that person's idea work. It doesn't work right now, as you said, but if it was going to work, what would you do? And so therefore, they're on. And now they're starting to find some compromises with each other and for themselves. Very important. All right. So, Jill, how do I combat the kid who nobody likes to work with because they're either difficult? Again, this is in part of the process. It's not just a one-piece application. If we can get them into respectful groups, it matters. I want them in ability grouping. I want them working with contracts. And most importantly, they've got to be working with a project that matters to them. Not just something that I just came up with. Hey, build this thing. And they're like, I don't give 2 rips about that. If it matters, and I put that sense of urgency in there, they're going to have to find a way through it. That being said, we might have some kids, for instance, who are on the spectrum, who have struggles. Then I work with the special education teacher or my own knowledge of how I would work with that kid and to look for future life goals with them and how things might work out. Otherwise, those are the kids who really need us, and to yell at them doesn't help. So we've got to figure out a way to help them how to be good people in the world. So last thoughts about grouping. There is no magic wand. There are no shortcuts. It's a journey of learning for them. It's a journey for learning for you. Be patient. Keep working the good work. The more you do this, the better they'll get at it, I promise you. And Lord knows we need good people who know how to compromise, contribute, and work together in groups, don't we? Right. So, as we come to the end, friends and family, if you found anything valuable here today, please remember to share this video out so other folks can see it later too. Remember, everybody who comments in the Facebook live chat section gets their name put in the giveaway for my new book. Lots of you guys active there today. Love you, love you. Everybody who shares this video on their page all the way up to August 31st, you'll get your name entered twice because we're giving away 4 books this month. Also, if you haven't yet, be sure to like the Life Practice PBL Facebook page where you're seeing this so you can be notified of our next Facebook live chat, which is, it's on the page. It's August 23rd, and it's all about building PBL lessons, so sparking really genius learning. It's kind of that, what I was talking with Jill a little bit ago, which was how do we make sure the projects are really tasty so that it matters to them? We're going to talk a whole lot about that. Remember these tips and more. If you're interested, if I went too fast or I didn't go in depth as you like, if you check out our lessons for, I have to do it. My Lessons for Life Practice Learning book that's just brand new out. It's so new out, it still has that fresh baby scent on it. It's available at our ESDAC site. I'll drop the link onto this page. You can see it. Otherwise, I want to say thanks for being with us tonight. I appreciate your patience and all y'all's support with my first Facebook Live chat. I hope to see y'all again next week. Thank you so much.